and then I convert it to podcast afterwards.
Okay. So we're actually going to stream live?
Heck yeah.
I don't think I've ever done that.
I do it all the time, unfortunately. No, I'm just kidding. Fortunately.
Maybe I will too now.
You should, because it's fun. It's fun. And it will be live. It's probably already live now. Like, we're kind of recording what we're doing, and then I can end up converting it, and then I post it up as a podcast too. So it's kind of cool.
That is really cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah. Oh, and we are live. I can see us on Twitch. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Welcome to Two Girls, One Movie.
It's one movie today.
One movie today. So we're going to start up our Two Girls, One Something. Now, since we, can do working from home and fun things like that, don't tell.
What?
What? Lunch break. Since we can do that, we're going to start up our Two Girls, One whatever. We used to do Two Girls, One Show.
Well, first it was Two Girls, One Book.
It was there, and we did a great review of Grey.
Is that the only? I think that's the only book we did.
No, we did the Twilight one.
Oh, yes. Yes, we did.
What was that one called? The apple one with the green apple. Oh, it was called Shit. You're right. So we did those two. And we did Two Girls, One Show for American Horror Story, which we always end up stopping because we always get mad. Or we do them really fast.
I think we kind of started with 11/22/63.
We did start with that too. I never finished it.
No, me neither.
That's so bad.
Because James Franco's scary.
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit.
And I just heard he's also very rapey, so who knew?
I thought it's not Dave. I don't really look alike, but one's shorter and...
Oh, maybe it was Dave and everyone just thought it was James.
Speaking of James, did you see him at the Golden Globes push away?
Tommy was... You know that was for the best. God knows what Tommy would have rambled on about.
What do you think he would have said? I want to know.
He says he was going to say, like, the world would be a better place if there was more love. I'm not kidding. That's what he says he was going to.
Tommy should not be allowed to speak in public.
I think James Franco was doing a service. He was like, stopping him from embarrassing himself.
He just like slid it in there. Nah.
And even Tommy was like, "Yeah, you're right."
Like nobody still wants to watch The Room, Tommy. We're sorry.
I still watch it like every week.
You're tearing me apart.
Oh, hi, Mark.
That's my favorite when he's throwing that bottle and he's like, I can't even believe that she would do this. And, oh, hi, Mark. No.
I like when they're at that cafe and he's like, so how's your sex life?
I love the flower shop scene. That might be my favorite.
Yeah.
And I read something about that, and I might have probably shared it to you or you shared it to me, where he didn't know that was a real dog.
Yeah. Did you read it?
Yeah. It's weird.
Yeah. I love the book. I think the book's great.
Oh, no, I didn't read the book. I read the BuzzFeed article. I thought you meant
Oh, no. It's on my Audible. And it's written by Greg Sestero, who plays Mark.
Right. I heard it's amazing.
And he reads it.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah, he reads it. Not Tommy, Greg, but...
I know, but still...
Yeah, and that's what the movie's based on. The movie's based on the book.
We did not get to see the movie, but we will be doing a Two Girls, One movie on that when we get to see it. But we should do it on The Room first.
We should do The Room, and I did see the movie.
The show is over.
It's been a bad, traitorous movie week for me, Bestie.
You've seen 2 movies without me. Who'd you see it with?
Steve.
I've never been so betrayed in my life.
I'm sorry.
Never been so betrayed.
It means nothing, Bestie. He doesn't mean anything to me.
I can't believe you would do that to me, Bestie.
I'm sorry.
I don't know if I can ever get over this. I'm okay with you taking Brooke to things, but not...
Well, I could not take Brooke to that one.
No, I hope not. Please, God, no.
Although she has seen bits of The Room.
Well, who hasn't? Just hope not the good bits.
I'm sorry. It just kind of came up and I went with, I'm sorry.
I'm going to text him later and be like, whoa. I found out about the betrayal. I am not happy.
Well, you went to see it, so now we're kind of...
Twice.
And I'm going to go see Greatest Showman again today.
Okay, so we're all even.
Yeah, we're even.
Right?
We're even.
We're supposed to watch it together, though.
Well, we need to do that.
Yeah, we need to have a movie night.
Yes.
Or there, and we're going to watch it together, and it's going to be amazing, because it is amazing.
We need to watch The Room together, is what we really need to do.
Watch us watch The Room. We'll enact it for you.
Can we stream that?
We
Us
should look
watching
up
The
the
Room.
rules. Only if you see us, I think. If you don't see the movie, I think you're okay. We could be like,
You look very sexy, Lisa.
oh, Lisa. It's so wrong. It's like the most awkward scenes in all existence. Like you're just sitting there going, oh, okay.
I love it so much.
I know you do. Well, I'm a little hurt. How was The Disaster Artist then? I have to ask you.
Read the book first, or listen to it.
Okay. Well, yeah, of course. I just
'Cause I
finished The New Grey for you.
Yeah,
It
we
took
should
me a
talk about
really
that.
long time.
It's so bad, man. It's so bad. The disaster. I like the book better. I like the book better. I feel like there's a lot going on that you don't. It doesn't make too much sense
Right.
if you haven't read the book. I mean, maybe. I don't know.
Okay. I'll read the book and we
Yeah.
could talk about that book and the new. We had to talk about the 50 Shades one because we had forced each other to
Uh-huh.
read that.
Ugh.
So maybe we'll alternate. Like we're going to do books, movies, shows once a week. Us for however long we could talk for. It's gonna be fun. It's going to
Yeah.
be fun.
I'm excited.
Except for this Disaster Artist Betrayal. It's going well so far.
I was okay with you seeing it.
Twice.
Yeah, twice.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Again, we're even. It's fine.
And by the next time we do this, I can probably perform all of The Greatest Showman if we keep up at this rate. Jesus.
Oh, well, good. I'm glad. I would like to see that, actually. Please do.
Like halfway through, I'm like, Brooke, we can leave. And she's like, no!
She loves it that much?
I had to buy the soundtrack.
Did you really?
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
What?
Yeah.
Is it that
I
good?
can probably do some like choreography for you right now.
Can you
Like
sing
some
like
stomping.
Hugh Jackman for me, please?
Yeah. You know, I don't think he's that good. Maybe you should not be singing,
Are
Hugh.
you sure you don't love Hugh?
I do. I love, I love me some Hugh Jackman,
I know
but
you
yeah. But that's something we should talk about too, though. That was an interesting
Okay.
movie.
We'll have to talk about all of this. And we'll talk
I
about
know.
it because I really want you to see it, the movie. I can't say I want you to see it because it doesn't, like in my brain,
doesn't
it's
make
giving me a
sense.
problem.
I know.
I need you to
I
see
know.
the movie so we can discuss that versus the book.
Yep. I know.
I've-
And I feel like I need to reread the book. It's
Oh,
been
I just
like,
did.
ugh, that's an endeavor.
It's like 45 hours.
Ugh.
And I double speeded it.
Yeah, I mean, I have it. I know I listened to it before,
I
but
know,
it
I
was
listened
like,
on yours. I mean, we don't do that.
no. The mine that I bought for you.
Yeah, you bought me a copy and sent it to me. 44 Hours of Heaven.
44 hours of heaven.
Weird things happen in that book. You just can't help yourself.
I know. I'm glad they broke the movie up, but
It makes
I need
sense.
to see it.
I've had a lot of arguments with people about the book versus the movie, so I'm excited to hear.
Well, I have it. I just haven't, like when I'm like alone at night, like if Steve's on the road, it's like, I don't want to watch this right now. Or on the treadmill, like, because it's always dark when I'm down there in the basement. Like,
You don't watch it then.
like no, there's just hasn't been an opportune time. I have to let my dog out, talk about something.
Talk about something. So she trained her dog to ring a bell to go pee, which is a feat because I can barely, train a kid to do that. No, I'm just kidding. My kids go to the bathroom with the potty. But her dog is pretty special and probably wants to go kill mice because that's what her dog likes to do outside. Everybody's dog likes to kill mice outside.
She's like taking out entire mice families.
I mean, at least you don't have a mouse problem
No, I don't.
ever because of the dog. So today, Bestie and I, 2 weeks ago, I think, went and saw The Shape of Water, which this was our third attempt at seeing a movie together.
Yes.
And the
Our
first,
first two attempts were pretty bad.
The first one was Igor. Is that what it was called?
Yeah, and that was like over a year ago,
It was
Bessie.
so
That was
bad.
like over Thanksgiving last. No, that was like 2 years ago.
That's how long it took us to want to see another movie.
Yeah. So that was I think we were gonna do a show on that, and we were just like, no.
No, don't watch it. It was bad. And then we went and saw Daddy's Home 2.
It had its moments.
It was funny at first, and then I don't know what happened.
It was kind of funny at the end when they made up that Liam Neeson Christmas movie.
Oh.
What was that called? Do you remember?
No, but that was funny. Like there were funny parts, but in the middle it kind of went like really down.
It was just like a typical comedy. Like they kept it going for too long, and then it's like we need to wrap this up and make it like awkwardly wholesome. Like,
Yeah.
it's like everyone has to be getting along at the end. Like, who cares? Whatever.
Yeah, true. Poor Channing Tatum.
I don't think he's in that movie.
No. It's just the guy that looks like him, but I always call him that. What is that? Who's that guy? I always call him that.
Mark Wahlberg?
No.
Oh, wait.
John Cena. I can't even think about him since Ferdinand.
I hated Ferdinand so much.
Because he is dumb.
Oh, I hated that movie. It was brutal.
Did Brooke like it?
No,
Thank
she
God.
was no. But your kids liked it.
Logan did. He laughed. But I don't know if it was just laughter because of sake of laughter.
Uh-huh.
You know, like kids are weird.
Yeah. Yeah. Was Remy bothered by it? Brooke was like she was upset when they were hurting Ferdinand.
Yeah, Remy was like curled in a ball, like sitting there like, oh. I was like, what's like this is awkward and uncomfortable for everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like I don't want to have to explain to my kids like why Spanish bullfighting is a thing.
I looked at Drew before the movie starts and I was like, don't they like the Bills? Like no matter what, they're dead. And he goes, oh yeah. And I was like, this is wrong. We should have thought of this.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, then there's that part where they send him through like the factory where they're gonna
like. Remy's like, where does that take you? I was like, I don't know.
It's a ride. It's fun.
Super great time, actually. I don't know if you know this, but it's exciting. So we had failed movies.
Yeah. Yeah. This is the long-winded explanation of how we failed at movies. But
a truthful one.
I think we finally picked a winner.
We picked a winner. You picked a winner. You wanted to see this one.
I've picked like every movie we've seen, so a lot was riding on it.
Then we get like third time's the charm. Like we were like,
It's like, please be good. I can't put her through this again.
She'll never see a movie with me ever. So we saw The Shape of Water, which actually won some Golden Globes, which I thought was cool. I think it won Best Director.
Yeah. It was it won. Although it's not without some what's the word I want to use? Conflict, I suppose. Like I guess there's a lot of people claiming it's plagiarized. Have you heard about this?
No, and you started talking about it, and I should have looked it up beforehand, but I
there's something really different.
Okay.
There's the Abe Sapien thing, which we can talk about. And then there was a short movie in 2015 called The Space Between Us about a mute girl working in a lab as a janitor who meets a sea creature who's being held there.
No.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's basically the premise of the entire movie, since we didn't even explain it. But that's what happens. There's a mute girl.
Yeah.
Working in a lab.
It takes place,
What year?
1962 during the Cold War. I looked it up because I was like, this time a while ago.
A long time ago. And she lives above a theater across from her gay friend.
Yeah. He's a painter.
He paints. And she works at a lab with, what's that woman's name that she works with?
Zelda.
I should remember that. That was really bad on me. And she works with Zelda in this lab. And Zelda pretty much takes care of her because she can't get to work on time, which I thought that was interesting. Like, everybody in the movie takes care of her in some way.
Well, you know why she can't get to work on time, bestie.
I do know why. That egg timer.
She got some stuff going on in her morning routine.
Let's just say her morning routine is a lot more complex than mine.
She's lonely.
She's a lonely woman who has an egg timer, boils her eggs.
I mean, at least she's on routine with it, but still, it's like you need to set up routine. You need to set aside a little more time in the morning if you can't get to work on time.
Right. Then you need to get up a little earlier for this endeavor.
Yeah, or do it before bedtime.
You have multiple options. But she cannot get to work on time because she's too busy. That's the only way. It was Eliza. That's the only way Eliza can take care of herself. It's the only thing she does the entire movie that takes care of herself.
Well, that's not true. She takes care of the neighbor. She makes him food.
But he like makes her moral support. And crime. Yeah. He helps her with crime. I'm sure that's really a big trade-off. Here's some eggs. Let's commit a crime together.
But you can paint a picture of the crime.
Yeah, afterwards. Let's paint this picture. He does really good Jello pictures, too.
He is an aspiring Jello artist.
Ex-drunk, AA.
Yeah.
Aspiring Jello artist. Gay neighbor who likes key lime pie, but doesn't.
He's a complicated character.
I actually want to know more about him because, man, that guy has a life. Like, it's interesting, right?
Yeah, no, it really, really is.
Like, his life is way more complicated than the amphibian creature.
Oh, and he learns like elaborate dance moves, but he can do them while sitting on his couch.
I thought that was interesting too.
That was kind of cute.
I kind of hope they would have more dancing.
I know. I kind of wanted to know more about their relationship. Like, how did that even happen? When she meets people, how does she tell them, like, how did he even know her name was Eliza? Did she have to write it down?
Write it down. What I was really shocked about is how many people knew sign language.
Yeah. But you know what? Like, I don't know how long she was that dude's neighbor.
Right.
And then I think at some point they say that her and Zelda had worked together for like at least 10 years.
Yeah. So I guess you're teaching pretty
So you're probably, I mean, because it's not like they were having like full-blown conversations. She probably just picked up enough to...
Right. Communicate. But it was so interesting. I was like, man, everybody in this whole movie knows sign language. What's going on?
Yeah, well, then you whip out some sign language. You're like, I know what they're saying. And I'm like, okay, yeah, because that's the sign you used for...
I do know some. I can't help it. It's a good thing to learn. You'll never know when you need to meet somebody and do sign language.
That's right. I mean, what if you worked at a government lab?
And wanted to talk to a fish.
Now you're prepared. You should put it on your resume. Like, I am completely qualified to speak to fish in a government lab.
With sign language. And eggs.
And eggs.
So, like, we backtrack. But I'm just saying that she works at this lab, and there's some shady stuff going on with the government there.
Mm-hmm.
And there's an elaborate cleaning force there, I think.
There is a lot of cleaning going on at that place, yeah.
So I don't know how big it is, but it's very secure. Very tight security, and they end up bringing in an amphibian man
from the Amazon.
From the Amazon, specifically Amazon. And you know, spoiler alerts, of course they fall in love, blah 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 blah.
This stupid excuse me.
Her dog is stupid.
She is.
She's not really. She's super cute. She's not stupid at all. We love her. But she's trying to kill mice again. Outside. There's a lot of mice going around outside, apparently. I didn't know this either. So, she falls in love with this man and isn't afraid of him, even though he does things like bite people's fingers off.
Yeah, but that dude was mean to him. That was justified.
No, that dude was mean. But, you know, the doctor was trying to be nice.
I don't understand how she fell in love with him so quickly. I mean, I guess it was love at first sight or something. But, like, they had, like, no interactions other than, like, hey, I'm going to make you listen to my music, and you can have some of my eggs.
Yeah.
And then, bam.
And then, instant romance.
Literally.
Literally, that's what happened. Bamming. We don't even know.
No, she didn't need her egg timer anymore.
Not anymore. So, like, that's basically the premise of it. The premise is mute girl meets amphibian man, and they fall in love, and there's conflict, obviously. Is that exactly what's happened in the other movie then?
I don't know that they fall in love, and I haven't seen it. I was just doing a little bit of Googling because I forgot everybody's name, and I didn't know when this movie was happening.
Zelda and Eliza.
Olden times.
Olden times.
Yeah.
Back in the day. It was a Wednesday.
I'm like, is this a medieval film or?
It's like way too far back, bestie. There's like electric doors and stuff.
I think it might have been like during the Renaissance, but I'm not sure.
There's a lot of jousting. Just, horseback.
They cut the joust. Well, what did I do? Oh,
you're fine. I can see it.
Sorry.
No, you're fine.
I hit a button.
You hit a button.
Stupid touchscreen. Oh yeah, but then this came up when I was Googling, and I guess it's just a short film, but I don't know that they actually fall in love. And there's more than one creature, and they don't have feet; they have tails. They're like mermen, kind of.
Mm. Yeah. So people are calling plagiarism.
Right. But then he's saying, Del Toro saying like, well, I conceived of this idea in 2011, but how can you prove?
You know?
Right. So who, But I guess the people who did this short movie are like super flattered. They're like, hey, look, we inspired him.
Well, wouldn't you be? Like, I'd be like, oh man, because your movie's gonna get watched too. And I thought The Space Between Us was about that weird guy that lived in Mars or from space, and he came down and had a heart problem and met that girl. Isn't that what that movie's called? That teenager?
Is that what that?
I don't know. They named
it. Wait, that was a book.
Right.
Is it a book?
It's right, but it's about that kid. I'm Googling. It's about that kid, right?
I think so. Was that what that was called?
I thought it was. I'm looking it up right now. Yeah. It came out in 2017. It's about that kid that's
Wait, they
born
had a
on
movie
Mars.
out of it?
Yeah, he's born on Mars, and he has an online friendship with a teen in Colorado, and he comes to Earth, and he has like a heart problem or something. Something's wrong with him. I didn't see the movie.
Did we read that?
I didn't.
I feel like I read something like I've read too many books.
I know.
I don't even
Let's
know.
see if you can see.
Well, if he's from Mars, why does he have a space, or why does he have a heart condition?
Because he can't acclimate to the Earth's atmosphere.
Why don't we write movies? Honest to God.
I'm aware of this. I'm just saying, like, it's horrible. So then did they take the name of The Space Between Us off this short film? Like, it's so strange.
There's so much plagiarism going on.
There's so much plagiarism. But of course, people are going to scream for the little man, and that's fine. And, you know, I mean, but isn't this kind of like a fairy tale anyway?
Well, it is. It is. And, you know, I liked it because it asks you to, it asks that you suspend disbelief. And it's easy to, because you want it to be this, like, you know, romantic little story that gets a little uncomfortable and has a happy ending.
I mean, there is a scene. There's a couple scenes that are uncomfortable.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it starts off making you uncomfortable with egg timers, and I don't think I'll ever look at an egg timer the same way again.
No. No, I will not. And we seem to have a thing for movies where animals get hurt.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah, it's been a consistent theme in the things we've seen lately.
Yeah.
Henry.
Oh, I forgot about that movie. We've seen 3 bad movies up to this one.
I picked that one too.
Rest in peace, Henry.
That was the most, like, half-assed.
I'm not Catholic. I don't know what y'all do. Do you go like this? I'm not sure.
We kind of, like, you do that.
Take
Yeah,
an
and then,
Egyptian kind of thing. Like, am I in Vogue? What's happening?
Yeah, a lot of, it's complicated. It's very, you got to choreograph it well.
Okay. I need to talk to the gay best friend of Eliza and find out how to choreograph routines sitting down. Because he's really good at that. So, I mean, but it is, the whole idea is that it's a fairy tale, because it's like, think of Beauty and the Beast. Girl falls in love with creature.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he has the library. He has benefits.
Yeah, that's true. This guy has nothing.
Well, no, he can heal.
Oh, he does have magic healing powers. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
There's that. Yeah. So basically, she falls in love with him. The government wants to kill him.
Yeah.
And she needs to recruit a ragtag team of helpers to save him.
And it's funny because there's a lot of subplot happening with the Russians.
Yes, because everybody's after this
After him.
asset.
And
Yeah.
I wouldn't call it part of the main plot because it never really enters, except for that one whenever the Russian doctor helps them. Like, there's not really a lot of interaction. Nothing happens of it. So it seemed almost thrown in there a little. I don't know. It was just because of the Cold War mentality they put that in there.
I think they have to throw some Russians in when you're talking about the Cold War.
They have to, probably. And an asset that can change the world.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, I liked it. I really did like it, but I feel like I shouldn't have liked it.
I think this is the only movie at the end that we saw together that we were like, wow, this is actually a really good movie.
Right.
Because it had a lot of elements that you could enjoy.
Well, yeah, and it's like you're willing to, like, overlook some things for the sake of the story.
Like the random Russian plot and the egg timer.
Ooh, and the, like, bullet wound through the cheek.
Yeah, and then he fish hooked the guy that you closed your eyes through. You did close your eyes. It wasn't.
I did.
Gross.
It was gross.
It wasn't that gross.
It was gross. The fingers were gross.
Well, yeah, the fingers started to rot off the guy. So the one, I don't want to call him a scientist. He wasn't a scientist.
He was a colonel.
He was a colonel in the military, and he was the one who. Right, he is the one who brought the creature in to this lab. He caught him and brought him. So he ends up getting his fingers bit off. 3.
Because he's like, he has like a
he's
taser.
He's electrocuting him with a cattle prod.
Yeah.
Let's use it's more.
You're right. It was not a taser.
It's a really long taser.
Sorry, I'm not up to date on my torturing device.
Oh, hey, Crafty, just saw you post in chat. Would you call yourself a social justice warrior? No. I would not ever call myself a social justice warrior, I don't think. Would you, Dana?
I mean, when it comes to, like...
egg timers?
Aquatic men.
And aquatic men, apparently.
Then yes, I am all for justice for that society.
Right.
Do you need our help?
Do you need your help getting aquatic men out of...
We're going to start a foundation. And
save all aquatic men from being taken by...
Colonel Strickland.
Colonel Strickland. So he gets his fingers bit off, and then they find them. Eliza and Zelda find them. She
puts them in her lunch bag.
She puts them in her lunch bag because there was mayonnaise or mustard on one of the fingers when they reconnected it, which is...
Yeah, they reconnect them. And instead of being like, hey, thank you for finding my fingers, he's like, there was mustard on them.
Which did not help, apparently, with the... I don't know. What do you want to call them? Like the degeneration and gangrene that he got on his fingers?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess your body can reject them after... I don't know that much about limb reattachment.
Well, no. That's not like really my forte.
But I imagine in the 60s it wasn't at the height of its, technological capabilities.
Well, that's why I thought it was odd they reconnected them in the first place.
Yeah.
I didn't know that in the 60s they were reconnecting body parts effectively.
Obviously they weren't.
I mean, they weren't, but like to even try was just such a weird point in the movie, and they were like always in focus, like there, and they were like rotting and smelling to people.
But you brought up like his own, like, is that associated with gangrene, like mental deterioration?
And probably, I mean, I don't know. Like, think of like those diseases that affect your body that like are basically an infection,
right?
So he's getting, and they even said to him he was acting strange.
But you can see his own like moral degeneration going along with that. So I don't know if it's just like a visual for
how crazy he was going.
Yeah, because he just like really needed to get his shit together.
Well, he didn't have his shit together at all, which is understandable, right? When your fingers are rotting off. I mean, the grossest part was definitely when he threw the fingers in his wife's mouth when they were doing it, and then I was not a fan.
He was like, don't talk.
He was shoving his dead fingers on her face. I mean, they weren't really dead yet, but they were in the process. Like, they were just found on a lab floor and reattached.
I hope he washed them.
He doesn't wash his hands, remember? Unless
that's right.
Before or after. You can tell a lot by a man if they wash their hands before they pee or after they pee.
So they still had, like, mustard on them. Probably.
You would hope the hospital took care of that.
I don't know. I mean, it doesn't seem like the hospital did a great job there, so...
No. And he basically wants to have sex with Eliza because she can't talk. And I thought it was going to be taken farther. I thought they were going to have, like, this weird moment where he was going to try to overpower her in that way, but he didn't, so I don't... And it wouldn't bother me if they did or not, but it seemed like it was going that way because he did bring up to her.
Oh, yeah. He said something weird about making her make some kind of noise.
Can I make you squeal or something like that?
Yeah.
And that was awkward.
Yeah, I mean, I thought they were going to go further with that, too. And I thought they were going to go further with the creature, I don't know, with the creature healing and...
It seems like thinking back on it, like I really liked the movie, but it seems like they took a lot of things not as far as I thought they were going to. You know what I mean? Like I honestly thought they were going to do more with the creature. Like we were like calling out things throughout the whole movie. You know, he's going to make her not mute anymore, which he could do.
Right, but I mean, are we going to spoil this movie? Doesn't matter.
Spoiled. I think I already said spoilers like twice.
Well, we'll just say at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if she can talk or not.
It doesn't. And I see what they did. And people probably should have saw it coming. Like when you see them, you're like, oh, okay. But at the same time, it's like, well, I don't know. I thought he could have did more.
Well, I was surprised. I thought more of the focus would be actually in the lab. Like I wasn't expecting so much time to be after they got him out.
Right.
You know, I thought it would be more buildup of their relationship in the lab setting, and really it wasn't until after they got him out of there that like
everything started developing.
Yeah. Like,
but that was pushed along by the Russians.
Yeah.
and them wanting to kill him, and the colonel wanting to kill him because it wasn't working out the way they thought it was going to.
What did they think was going to happen?
They thought they were going to prove how to breathe underwater and live forever. I don't know. I have no idea. It was really a strange concept because it's kind of disjointed almost.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. But I don't know, like, my friend was telling me about this Abe Sapien thing, and I don't know enough about it, like, to speak to it, but apparently that's largely his backstory, right? That he was brought to a government lab and...
Yeah, and he was. And hi, DJ Minty Fresh. Welcome. It's, so the Abe Sapien thing, and that's the same guy.
Yes.
That
Who
plays,
is Billy Butcherson?
And I didn't know that.
Billy. Winifred Sanderson's jilted lover is...
I can't believe
the asset.
And I didn't know that until this morning.
I didn't know that either.
Until you texted
Thank you, Steve.
me. Thank you, Steve.
Thank you, Steve.
When you listen to us, thank you. We're good, DJ Minty. We're just discussing The Shape of Water. It's
join us
and discuss. Have you seen it? If you haven't seen it, we kind of spoiled a little bit. But so in Hellboy, Abe, that is his
I've never
backstory,
seen Hellboy,
and you should. The first one's very, very good.
Okay.
However, I disliked one of the characters because she reminded me of a person I knew in real life. And it sounds really petty, but I was like, God, I hate that character because she reminds me just like this annoying girl that I do not like, who's like the Karen of my generation. You know what I mean? Like there's always the Karen that has no receipt but wants to return something. That's what she reminds me of. So
okay.
He has like, he lives outside of water though, but he lives in, but he has like contraptions that lets him breathe out of water.
Okay.
And he has a lot of cats. Like, Hellboy has cats, so there's cats everywhere, and he doesn't try to eat them. Like, Hellboy loves cats. I don't know if you knew this, but he loves cats. Know that. So there's so many cats involved, but Abe doesn't try to eat them. And he has some sort of ability, and I believe it's telekinetic. I don't know how much he heals. But I've never read the comic either. I've just seen the 2 movies, and they're remaking a movie.
I know, with Hopper. And he looks awesome as Hellboy. Yeah. Yeah, he got ripped.
He got ripped as Hellboy. So it's...
But ching.
But it's one of those weird things. It's like, well... if he can do it, though. He made the first Hellboy.
Yeah, but I don't think he has the rights to...
He probably doesn't.
But I'm like... I guess, from my understanding, people are just wondering, like, why didn't you just call it what it is?
Right.
So I don't know. I mean...
Because would people have seen it?
That's a really good point. Because, like, I'm not very big on comics.
And you're not. And I admit that you just aren't. It's fine.
Yeah, well, yeah, my knowledge of them is not... It's not where it should be. But, like, if that was billed as a comic book movie...
You wouldn't have seen it.
I wouldn't have seen... Probably just would have... Well, because for me, the comic book universe is so vast.
It is.
I just feel like I would be missing so many... Easter eggs and so much backstory. You know what I mean? It's like, I could probably... I'm sure I could enjoy... I have enjoyed comic book movies, but there's so much more... It's like if someone goes and sees a Stephen King movie and they're not aware of, like, everything else out there.
Oh, right. Like if you're seeing The Stand but have no idea how it interconnects to everything. And
right.
It really takes away from the movie and the experience of it all. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
So that's my... Yeah.
And I've seen, like I've said, I've seen a lot of comic book movies. I haven't read the comic books because I didn't as a kid, so it's not, I don't want to say it's hard to get into them now, but it kind of is, you know?
It is. It is.
So I get that, but I also think that if they would have booked it as a comic book movie, it would not have got a Golden Globe.
Mm-hmm.
It would not have had the same feel about it. It would not have done as well as it did. It would not be revered as a drama. It changes the entire aspect of the movie.
So do you think he might eventually come out and be like, surprise?
He might, but it's going to be funny because he's like, surprise, look at all you who love this movie and hate comic books.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But then if you look at like the Chris Nolan Batmans.
They were very good, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when people were really like all about them.
And they were,
you know?
But I don't think that... See, I think... Okay, here's my 2 cents on it, just because I've seen a lot of comic book movies. There is a comic book group, and they love the movies. Or they hate them, or they love to hate them. It's in the same thing. You're going to see them no matter what. The kids are going to see them. The teenagers are going to see them. I went to Logan which I don't know if you saw. Very good movie.
No, I haven't seen it yet.
It's a drama. I have it on my Amazon. You don't know my password.
I won't log in and I will not watch it.
It has subtitles. But there's this genre that loves it. And when I went to Logan, there was a 10-year-old boy in that movie. Okay. Probably shouldn't have been there. I wouldn't let my kid watch it at 10. It's just a lot. Like, it's just a heavy movie. But it's a drama. It could have been, if it wasn't comic book, it would have been nominated for awards. It's one of the 10 best movies of the year by ratings boards. Like, it's great. It was just not, it was seen as a comic book movie, not for what it was, which was a very sad story, a very intricately sad world. And when you watch it, I think you'll see that.
I think that's an excellent point, though. Like, it would, yeah, like if it would have, it would have taken away a substantial audience.
I think it would have. And it's not to say that the comic book audience wouldn't have seen it and people wouldn't have seen it because they think it's an interesting tale. But I think it just completely negates that whole other side of the coin. Or it would have made more money being a comic book movie. It wouldn't have got the acclaim.
Yeah. Well, and it was like a real limited release. Like, how long did, like, we tried to go see it when it came out and it wasn't out
even here. No.
Yeah.
So it's really different. It has a higher esteem not being a comic book movie.
That's a little sad.
And it is sad because, like I said, when you watch Logan, you'll be like, wow.
Well, you know, honestly, I think you can, I mean, not to keep throwing in Stephen King, but
it's
like,
the same.
It's the same thing. He's very like pulpy, and people love Shawshank Redemption, and then if you tell them it's Stephen King, it's like, oh really? Like
then they have a different taste in their mouth about it. I
Mm-hmm.
think even it had that feeling where it was more of like, oh, we need to go see the movie because it's it and it has, you know, Stephen King and blah blah blah. But it missed a whole audience that was like, I don't want to see a Stephen King movie.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
And they just had to. I mean, it'd be like pulling out one of his random like revival, and people wouldn't know who he wrote that. If they saw,
well, that's why he did Richard Bachman for a while until everyone figured him out.
Exactly right. The detectives were on that case. But it's the same sort of feeling. I think that if you're going to see this movie and it was labeled as a comic book movie, it would limit the audience, and he wouldn't have been able to do what he wanted to do. Like, you can't have that egg timer scene in a comic book movie because kids are going to see it, and it's going to make the rating. I mean, the rating was an R, but.
Well, and the focus was on her. He was able to make it. He was, I mean, in a lot of ways, he was almost a peripheral character.
He was. Well, so was, I mean, it was about her.
Yeah.
And her inability to communicate except through, and she actually didn't sign that often.
Well, and I think it's because of the world she lived in.
Right.
I think most people didn't understand it, and, you know, but how, I mean, when you look at it like that, how isolating.
Right.
You know, like nobody, like that scene with him where she's like, you have to say what I'm signing. You remember that?
Yeah.
And she made him like say it out loud, and it was like, oh my God, like how sad for you.
And it would be sad, especially in that kind of world. And people treated her like she was just dumb. And, you know, they, like even the Colonel guy, he was asking over and over, like, what made you this way? And like demeaning her.
Yeah.
You know,
right.
He even
there was a lot of demeaning going on in that movie.
Well, there was.
There were a lot of marginalized people in that movie.
A lot. Well, even that scene at Zelda's house was just so uncomfortable.
Yeah. Well, because she's being demeaned not only as a black woman, but as like a woman in general. But, you know, it's just, man. Everybody was just beaten down.
And then her husband's like, I know where the amphibian creature is.
What was his name? What the heck was his name?
Oh, something like, I don't remember.
I know we were yelling at him. I can't remember.
Yeah, we were. We were probably really disturbing to the other movie goers.
There was this couple sitting next to us, and they were really, really caught up in this film. They were very, very concerned
gasping
about the amphibian man, and they just kept saying like, what was she saying? Was it, oh my God?
Yeah.
Or was it
oh
like,
my God? And, And I can't believe that happened.
Yeah.
Every time something happened,
yeah.
And you're like, stop.
Yeah, but it would be like, you know, I think we need to vivisect him. Oh God. Like,
what does she think they're gonna do?
Vivisect him. They're gonna go all
it's
Dr.
60s.
Moreau on his ass.
Right. It's funny because you're like, oh, shut up. But at the same time, you're like, this is the audience right there.
Yep.
That are like,
that's what a
gasping.
comic book movie would have kept out.
And it would have. It would have. But it had comic
They
book
would have been
themes.
like, bring on the vivisection.
Woo! We love vivisections. It would have kept out, like, the comic booky themes would have been, and there were some, because his healing ability is a supernatural thing, and it's, you know, teeters on the line of those type of movies, powers.
But he's a god.
He is. They say that a lot too.
They say that, yeah. Even Strickland at the end, he's like, "You really are a god."
Yeah, and you're like, yeah. But I think he should have beat the crap out of him more.
It was kind of unsatisfying.
It was.
Because that guy was so skeevy.
And gross.
Like, I really wanted to see him get it. Like, he caused so much grief.
He makes me, like, he just is creepy looking and creepy feeling, and ugh.
I know. It was, and the candy. He kept eating this candy the whole movie. It was so, with his, like, gnarly fingers. He's like,
his black fingers. Then he rips them off and throws them in Zelda's house. Why?
Wasn't he like quoting Bible passages?
He was, and I thought that was a strange sort of thing to happen too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because why did it go biblical a little bit?
Yeah, because he was very much toting this, like, man's created in God's image, like, that thing's not God's image.
And it's
but
weird.
then they bring up that he was worshipped as a god in his own right. So there's an interesting there's something going on there that I haven't really thought about.
I haven't really thought about either, but I guess, like, I just saw Mother, and that was a very, very heavily biblical movie, and you still have to watch it, Amazon password. Very, very biblical movie. Yeah, well, no worries. Super biblical. And I think coming from that, but it was biblical undertones, and you notice it more with closed caption on. I'm not gonna lie, because they say things that you're like, you can hear it better when you're reading. To go to that and to have, like, this lightly thrown in there Bible verses being quoted, it was awkward to me. And they mostly focus on Zelda's story because her middle name is something biblical, and I didn't understand that. Like, it would have made more sense, I guess, to me if he focused it back on Eliza. But he never does. It's only for Zelda and him. And it's almost like he's making a parallel to the amphibian creature and the man being made in God's image and Zelda as a black woman.
Right. Right.
No, I agree with that. So there's, like, weird parallel. He sees them as the same level.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, and I read this really interesting interview with Octavia Spencer and Richard Jenkins talking about how what was really interesting about the movie was that those two in the 60s would have pretty much had no voice, like a black woman and a closeted gay man. And because of the dynamics of the movie and the way it works out, they are kind of functioning as everyone's voice.
They are.
So they really get to be heard, whereas they, like, on other platforms they wouldn't, especially at that time.
It's interesting to think about that because the white woman has no voice.
Right.
And the amphibian man has no voice.
And that's why they're perfect together.
They are. In his cloaca.
I can never remember that word.
I know, you called it something so strange in the theater, and I was like, cloaca.
I think cloaca sounds pretty strange, but I've been... No, I'm not. No.
Don't do it. You'll see some things. It's wrong.
No, I don't want to. No.
Let's just say he's naked the entire time, but you don't see anything. It's like...
But there's a great scene where she describes with her hands to Zelda how it went down. We're like 12-year-old boys right now. Like,
I think we did that in the theater. I was like, what? Cloaca.
Well, that's exactly how you explained it to me before she did it in the movie.
It did. Because you were like, I wonder how this worked. I was like, cloaca. And you're like, what's that? I was like, it comes out. Like, it's a thing and it comes out.
Well, it's because you understand sign language that you were able to explain it to me that way.
Yeah, I use my hands very well to understand sign language. It's funny though, like when you reflect, like we came out of the movie going, this is the best movie we've seen together, because it is. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then you think about it, there's like a lot of holes.
Yeah.
Not that that's a bad thing. You don't need everything filled in, but there are missteps in the plot where you're just like, well, where did that go wrong? Or why is he doing this biblical thing to Zelda? Why is he, I don't. I
I'm
think
gonna look up. Hold on.
I think that would have made more sense if he would have did it to both her and the creature.
Done what?
Like been quoting, and I mean, he called him the god, but he doesn't really like give him Bible quotes.
It would have been lost on the creature, though.
That's what he thinks. I don't know if it really would have been.
You think he really was God?
No, I think that he was
like the god.
He was the god. He's like Zeus. No, I think he was. I think he's Abe. Like.
You do or you don't?
I do.
Yeah.
Because I thought that even going into the movie, I was like, that looks so familiar to me.
I can't believe it's the same guy.
Yeah.
Although I guess he works on all kinds of stuff with Del Toro.
Is it the same guy?
It is. Jug Jones. He plays the same.
I didn't know he played Abe, right?
Yeah, he does.
That's crazy to me.
He does. And he's the guy in Pan's Labyrinth,
yes.
the like pale dude.
He plays a lot of those kind of roles.
Did you see Crimson Peak?
Yeah, we saw. Did we see it together?
Mm-mm.
I saw it in the theater with somebody.
Who's mad now?
Because that's with one of my favorite people.
Loki. Yeah, Hiddleston.
Tom. We're on a first name basis. Yeah.
His middle name.
Didn't we see that together? Are you sure?
We talked about it, but we didn't. We did not. Okay, apparently it's really hard to find out what Zelda's middle name was when you're searching that kind of thing.
Because it just doesn't lead you to anything.
No.
But he brings it up. And that's so,
yeah.
And her mother died in childbirth, so like it's like this weird.
Is her name really Zelda?
Yeah, her name was Zelda.
Yeah, why don't they? You know what? I could Google biblical references in the shape of water.
They'll probably give you the entire chapter.
That we don't have to think about it anymore.
I'm really mad that you didn't even have this quoted.
I know. I'm disappointed in myself. I was not on the ball.
I'm disappointed in it too. Disappointed. So I don't know.
Oh wait. Okay, he does Samson and Delilah. He talks about
Delilah.
Is it
That's
Delilah?
her middle name. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's Zelda Delilah, and I was like, that sounds really dumb.
That's a beautiful name. Zelda Delilah. That's a mouthful.
That's what I'm saying, right? Like you even tripped over it.
A little bit.
A little bit.
Oh. Somebody wrote an article, How the Shape of Water Echoes the Book of Ruth. Remember we were talking about that? Because that's the movie that was playing.
We were talking about that.
That was playing in the theater. Uh-huh.
And you even said we should look up these movies because one is definitely has something to do with this.
Yeah, and then I didn't. And someone else wrote an article on it in the time it took me to not look it up. So there's that. We
get screwed over all the time. Movie ideas.
We have these great ideas, and then it's just like, yeah.
We'll just
I'm too busy to look that up.
Yeah, I don't want to Google. I'm sitting here doing nothing.
Where would I look this up? On my handheld device that's in my pocket all the time?
No, but it was. What are your like final thoughts? Because I mean, I know you have to leave to get Brooke soon.
I got a couple minutes though.
Okay. But like, if you could wrap up this movie, like, what is your main thought around this movie?
My main thought around this movie, I thought it was visually beautiful. Mm-hmm. I thought it was like really well done. It really made me hungry for hard-boiled eggs, and I made them after I got home.
Alone time.
I wasn't hungry for alone time. I just wanted some eggs. Although interesting that she was preparing her eggs when she was having her alone time, but that's a whole nother. And then she gives the eggs to the creature.
That is interesting. That is really interesting.
But they have some really cute kids.
I'm sure they're really magical.
Really attractive.
Really attractive children. And they're cloacas.
Yeah, closing thoughts, I liked it. I thought, I had a good time. I enjoyed it. Like, it wasn't like...
Henry?
It wasn't, Henry. Oof. Yeah. No, it was nice to, like, leave the theater feeling fulfilled.
Right.
Like, there were some holes, there were some gaps, but all in all, I just felt like it was, like, a solid, complete movie.
Right. But you didn't get those until you're sitting thinking about it, I don't think. It wasn't like... There's some movies where we left the theater going, but that's not even... It doesn't make sense. How did they get to this point?
Right. Yeah.
And it has a happy ending.
Which was nice. I liked that.
Yeah. I wasn't expecting it to, and then it did. So I was like, oh, pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, and so was the couple next to us. They were pumped.
Pumped. They probably saw it twice.
I bet they did.
I bet they have egg timers. Just saying. She's always late to work. I'm just gonna put it out there. If you need to have your alone time before work, set your clock 10 minutes faster.
And what's the deal with her shoes? There's a lot of shoe
She
imagery
has a
going on in
lot
there.
of shoe imagery, and she has them like really nicely placed on her wall.
And she cleans them every morning too.
Yeah.
Every morning. Like I just think you need to get your priorities in order. Like
Well, she
do you
works at
really
night,
need
so every evening.
every evening.
But she needs
I
to get her
guess.
priorities in order because
Well, yeah, is this something you really need to do right before work? You know?
make eggs,
Zelda's saving your ass every day with your punch card.
and that lady's yelling at you every day because you're late. I don't know.
You just imagine the last 10 years of her life, like that same thing every morning.
Do you think Zelda would just be like, nah, I
But
can't.
you're right. Everyone feels this need to take care of her. It's interesting.
I mean, probably because she's mute.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
You know, I don't know. But every single person just like has to take care of her only. And I thought that was interesting.
Well, yeah, and nobody really takes her seriously almost. Like when she suggests to the neighbor she got to save the creature, he's like, no. Initially, he's like, no. And
He has
then
a Jello
Zelda,
commercial to get to, or whatever.
he's very busy.
Very busy.
Pie and Jello. And Zelda's just like,
She didn't even know about it. She
yeah,
found
but when
out.
Zelda finds it, she's just like,
She pushes the cart that he's in back at her. She's like, nope.
yeah, they have a really interesting exchange there. Yeah, it's, yeah. So like, it's almost like he allows her to have her own agency, finally.
Finally. It's funny, though, that like two groups of people, the gay man and the black woman in that time period, are the ones taking care of her and are unable to take care of themselves almost in society. Like he's hidden in his apartment going to a pie place to get key lime pie, which is disgusting and he eats one bite of, to hit on the waiter.
Who's a dick?
Who's a mean man. What? Be complimented.
He was very cruel.
He was very cruel. And she takes care of not only Eliza, but her husband, who doesn't work because he has a bad back. And she continuously talks about that. And yet she takes care of Eliza again and takes care of the creature because she's the one who says we need to get him out of here and checks on him like a doctor, which she's not.
Yeah. Well, it's almost like they found somebody more beaten down than themselves.
Right.
Like, and maybe that gives them agency. That's the buzzword I'm using today.
I do like the
agency.
word agency.
I need a thesaurus. Next time I'm gonna have my thesaurus here, and I'll be like,
yeah,
hold on,
word for agency. Hold on. It's just one of those things where you're like, there's a lot of people in this movie, except for of course the Colonel, who threatens to get killed. By the way, by his boss.
Yeah. I mean, what did you think? What did you think?
I really liked it coming out of it. I mean, not saying I don't like it now. I like it now, and I would see it again. It'd be interesting to see if some of the holes that I'm thinking while I'm sitting here maybe just were missed.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, they're not even big holes. I got the feeling initially, until you mentioned the Abe, I got the feeling it was like a Little Mermaid rendition almost. With
that came up a lot when I was searching.
Yeah, like a different. Like there's the mute, and then there's the merman. Sort of like a backwards thing, but he would have killed her because in most mermaid stories, the mermaids are evil and they eat people.
And they turn into sea foam.
They do. Yeah, so that's a problem. I mean, he could have done that. We don't know. He took her somewhere.
Maybe it wasn't a happy ending.
It was a happy ending they showed you. Wait till after the credits.
Yeah, we sure waited.
It's just a bunch of sea foam all around him. But I liked it. I think that it was well done. It was visually, like you said, beautiful. The soundtrack was amazing. You know, I wish they would have done more, and I don't think the subplot with the Russians was needed.
Well, maybe only because I don't think she could have done it without his help.
Right, but did he have to be Russian? Did they have to like bring in this big thing with him? I don't know.
Yeah, I guess that whole. Yeah. Yeah. Although, if it's a government agency during the Cold War
It's
and it's a fairy
it's
tale,
gonna be
like,
Russians.
you kind of got to have.
Russians or Nazis.
Yes, they should have had both.
Both working together. I don't think that makes
Yes.
sense with the time period. I'm not really good at that history thing.
I know we were talking about that. How all these movies coming out based on true stories, we're like, oh,
What was that last one? We talked about it in the theater. We were
The
like,
Post.
oh, yeah, no idea.
What a fascinating fictionalized tale. Wait, what? That happened?
But all in all, I liked it. I want to see it again. I want to know more about the Ruth thing too. I'll have to read that article.
Yeah, yeah. I think I still have it on my phone. I'll send it. Yep, I'll send it to you.
Good.
Yeah. Yes, yes.
Yes. So any
Yeah,
other final thoughts on Two Girls? What we're going to be doing now?
I don't know. I'm kind of wondering what movie we should go see next.
I would say Disaster Artist.
Well, it's not playing anywhere anymore.
I'll have to come over and hang out.
Yes, yes.
Then we can do, movies, and then we also do books a lot. So you might have to watch us talk about the newest 50 Shades of whatever that was. What was that book called? Gray? I don't know. What
Grayest.
Grayest.
Grayest of them all. And
Here's the grayest of them all.
it was darker
Maybe it was it. Yeah.
because it's just kind of like taking the gray out of the original titles.
50 Shades Darker. This one's called Darker.
I can't wait
50
till that
Shades
next
of Grey.
one comes
This one's
out.
called Gray. 50 Shades Freed. This one's called Freed. She got her titles. She has half her dialogue.
It's the way to do it.
Apparently. Recycle, recycle, recycle.
Actually, bestie, Valentine's Day. What's coming to theaters?
We haven't seen the second one. I don't know if I can do it.
I don't think we'll be baffled by
We could
the
go
extravagant plot.
It'd just be me and you in the theater. Like, this is really uncomfortable.
No, it'll be me and you and lots of couples.
And we'll just be like, oh, I can't believe this.
Oh my
Vivisection.
God, vivisection.
We could stir the pot a little bit. I'm good at that.
No, really?
I'm not passive.
That's like you saying you're passive aggressive or something.
I told somebody yesterday I went to the University of being passive aggressive and I have a master's in it. And they were like, no, you didn't. I'm like, watch this email I'm about to send.
I would say PhD.
Oh,
I think
thank
you
you.
sell
I'm
yourself
pretty-
a little short.
Pretty honored. You're working on your master's right now, aren't you? Because you've been very good at it lately.
Thank you. Thank
so
you.
proud.
Throwing the shade.
Well, we hope everybody enjoyed our show next week, Wednesday or Friday. It's going to alternate between them based off working from home days and things like that and appointments. But please reach out on Twitter at GGeeklets and we can do other topics. If you have a good movie for us to watch, maybe we'll do The Room and Disaster Artist next. So we can do that. We're up to reading horrible books, so you don't have to. We do that a lot.
Yeah, we do. And movies.
And movies. And pretty much anything that's bad.
We're here for you.
We're here for you. Don't read don't read Darker. Just don't do it. We'll tell you why. Hopefully next time.
Especially don't listen to it. It is incredibly uncomfortable.
Yeah, because you think people can hear through your headphones, and I was sitting in the gym like, turning this down. Please turn it down. I don't want anybody to hear this.
Yeah. I'm in like the pickup line at preschool in my car, and it's like.
I was getting a new phone because I might have.
Did Drew break yours, bestie?
Oh yeah, that's what happens. And I took it to the store, and I was like scrolling through to show them like what it was doing, and that was listed in my because on Samsung it has the drop down, right? So it like drops down. I went like this, and it was like darker, and I was like, that's not me.
How did I get there?
Who's in this book?
You see how broken this phone is?
It's so broken. It put this on my phone, and it has it half listened to. So embarrassing. And the girl's laughing. I'm mortified. Like, I'm actually mortified.
Well, as you should be.
As I should be.
I'm mortified that money was paid for that book willingly.
I think you just return it. You're really good at that.
Yeah, I know, but they don't let you do it too. Like, they're on to me. They're on to me. Because, well, my reason is always, like, I don't like the book, which is true. But after, like, I return, like,
Say
two books
it was
a
a
month.
bad copy.
But no, because so I returned two. the other day.
No,
And then I tried to return a third one, and then this box comes up, and it's like, basically like, listen, you need to call us. Like, what's the deal? Like,
well, you need to call them and be like, I have very high standards.
Yeah, exactly. I'm, using good credits on this baloney.
We keep a lot of books between the two of us.
We do.
So I don't want to hear it audible.
Well, I don't have my second account anymore either. It's like, come on.
You need to get that back. Double dip it on the accounts there.
I miss that account.
I would like scroll through both like, Yeah, but like, moral of this story is don't be listening to an embarrassing book like Darker and turn your phone into somebody and they're looking through it and it's just like a whole mess of embarrassment. Like, yeah, legitimate embarrassment. But I'm sure those moms in the preschool line knew exactly what you were up to.
I'm sure they did.
They were like,
they're probably listening to it too.
They probably are with their egg timers. I'm just saying.
I think you're right.
I'm onto something. Well, goodbye, stream. We'll look for this to be podcasted soon. We love you, and thanks for watching.
Love you guys. Bye.